I'm stood in Knightsbridge, shimmering glass, supercars, designer labels, wealth on display everywhere. Just a few miles away, I'm in a queue for a food bank. A nurse in front of me has skipped meals all week so her kids can eat. She works in a hospital near those gleaming towers, but can't afford to feed her family. This is London today. Two cities side by side, worlds apart. The people who keep London running, nurses, teachers, bus drivers, are being pushed to the edge. They work all hours, but their pay barely covers the basics. It's a story of impossible choices, quiet desperation behind closed doors. Walk through central London at night, dark, empty, multi-million-pound flats with the lights off, ghost towers. These aren't homes, just assets for investors who may never set foot here. Meanwhile, families are crammed into tiny flats, struggling to pay the bills. The city's soul is being sold off, piece by piece, to the highest bidder. How did we let this happen? How did London become a place that punishes the people who make it work? For many, the dream of London is turning into a nightmare, a constant struggle to survive. This isn't just about numbers, it's about people's lives. The city that once promised opportunity now squeezes the life out of those who need it most, and their stories need to be heard. Let's look at the numbers. Rent used to be a third of your wages. Now it's half, sometimes more. The average one-bed flat in London, over £1,700 a month. Some pay nearly £2,000. Average London salary after tax, less than £3,000 a month. So rent alone eats up most of your pay, before council tax, bills, or food. The cost of basics, milk, bread, transport, has soared. A monthly travel card for zones 1-4 is over £200. That's just to get to work. Wages haven't kept up. The gap between what you earn and what you need to live keeps growing. I met a young couple, both with good jobs, still stuck in a flat share in their late 20s. They can't save for a deposit, can't afford a place of their own. Even a one-bed flat feels out of reach. They feel like they're failing, but it's the system that's failing them. This isn't just a few unlucky people, it's a whole generation. Official stats show London rents have jumped over 20% in 3 years, while wages barely budge. You can't run a city if the people who keep it going can't afford to live there. The maths just doesn't add up. Something has to give. The pressure is building and it's unsustainable. London's future depends on fixing this. Where's all the property going? Not to people who want to live here. Global investors, billionaires, corporations, see London homes as safe investments, not places to live. The government has welcomed this foreign money, but at what cost? Many properties are bought through offshore companies hiding owners' identities and dodging taxes. First-time buyers scrape for deposits while faceless corporations buy entire blocks, tax-free. Over 100,000 properties in England and Wales are owned by anonymous offshore companies, most in London's priciest boroughs. New developments are marketed overseas before locals even get a look. The result? Hollowed-out neighbourhoods, closed shops, lost communities. Homes become commodities, not places of safety or belonging. Londoners are losing out in a global financial game. The city's character is being erased, replaced by empty luxury. Ordinary people are paying the price. The statistics are shocking, but the real impact is personal. I met Aisha, a hospital cleaner and single mum, facing eviction after her rent jumped by £500 a month. She's been on the council housing list for a decade. The only offer? Temporary accommodation far from her job and kids' school. Overcrowding is everywhere. Families of 6 in one-bedroom flats, children sleeping on floors, damp causing health problems. This isn't Victorian London, it's now. Food bank use has exploded, even among people with full-time jobs. Nurses, teaching assistants, delivery drivers. After rent and bills, there's nothing left for food. Food banks have become a fourth emergency service. The stress and anxiety are relentless, affecting health, children's education, and life chances. It's a cycle of poverty that's hard to break. The housing crisis is a public health crisis, an education crisis, a social crisis. It's eroding the foundations of our society. The most vulnerable are paying the highest price. Behind every statistic is a family struggling to survive. This is the human cost of a broken system. This crisis didn't appear overnight. It's decades in the making. The right to buy scheme in the 1980s let council tenants buy their homes, but the government never replaced the lost social housing. Over 1 million council homes sold, but few new ones built. Successive governments promised more affordable homes, but targets were missed and affordable often isn't. Rents set at 80% of market rates are still unaffordable for most. The system is full of loopholes and lacks political will to fix the basics. Landlords can evict tenants for no reason, bans keep getting delayed. The interests of property owners always seem to come first. London became a magnet for dirty money, pushing up prices for everyone. New transparency laws came too late, the damage is done. It's a mess of bad policy, missed opportunities and political choices. And ordinary people are left to pick up the pieces. Londoners are being pushed further out, forced into long, expensive commutes. People get up at 5, travel for hours, and barely see their families. The cost of a season ticket from the suburbs is thousands a year. I met Mark, a paramedic now commuting over 2 hours each way after being priced out of Zone 3. He's exhausted, worried about his job performance, and missing his kids grow up. The city is losing its key workers, those we clapped for during the pandemic. Communities are breaking apart as people move constantly, unable to put down roots. Schools and businesses struggle with constant turnover. The city centre becomes a playground for the rich. Real life shifts to the overcrowded outskirts. Outer areas can't cope with the influx. Transport is packed, schools oversubscribed, services stretched. London is becoming a city divided, geographically and socially. The social fabric is fraying. The city works for the few at the centre, but strains the many on the edge. It's a recipe for resentment and tension. London's identity is at risk. London's story isn't unique, it's happening in cities worldwide. From New York to Sydney, global money floods property markets, pushing prices out of reach for locals. Wages can't keep up, and ordinary people are priced out. Cities try to fight back. New York debates taxes on empty luxury flats. Berlin tried a rent cap. Vancouver taxes empty homes. But the housing market is now global, not local. Locals compete with the world's wealthiest for a place to live, a battle they can't win. Local governments are caught between attracting investment and protecting residents. London is a warning sign. Cities risk becoming sterile enclaves for the elite. The question is, what is a city for? Economic growth, or a place for people to live and thrive? The choices we make now will shape our cities' futures. We need to decide who our cities are really for. If this continues, London's future looks bleak. A city split in two. The super rich live in secure bubbles, while key workers endure long commutes from overcrowded outskirts. The city loses its creativity, diversity, and soul. When artists, young people, and families can't afford to stay, London becomes bland and predictable. This isn't just a London problem, it's national. London's wealth isn't shared, it's hoarded at the top, fueling resentment and the north-south divide. The housing crisis is a national crisis, but there are solutions. Build more council homes, regulate rents, tax empty properties, empower local councils. These aren't radical, they're common sense. What's needed is political courage and a shift in priorities. We can choose a fairer, more inclusive city. The alternative is a divided, soulless metropolis. The time to act is now. London's future depends on it. So who is London for? Right now, it feels like it's for global investors, not ordinary Londoners. The city is being sold from under people's feet. We have to challenge that. A city is more than buildings and data. It's a community, a home. And a home should be a right, not a privilege for the wealthy. The market has failed. It's deepened inequality and crushed hope. We can't let London become a no-go zone for normal people. This is a moment of reckoning for London and cities everywhere. Do we want exclusive playgrounds for the rich or inclusive, dynamic communities? The fight for London's future is a fight for its soul. It belongs to everyone. The nurse, the teacher, the family, the dreamer. It's time for change. If we don't act, we risk losing what makes London great forever.